Hello, Lisa Richard here with Loving Energy Recharge. Welcome to Inner Alchemy. Inner Alchemy is a blend of the teachings of human design, the gene keys, and incorporating some tools as a more than existing Lightworker coach. It is an opportunity to really get connected with the different patterns that are out in the universe and start to learn their properties in terms of shadow and light within ourselves so that we may do our own inner work through our own transformation. What you're seeing on the screen here is known as the mandala wheel in the teachings of human design. You're going to notice on the outside wheel that there is the numbers 1 through 64. And these are representations of the teachings of the book of I Ching, which is known as the Book of Changes. Now, the numbers 1 to 64 are also symbolic of the 64 codon strands within your cellular makeup. And what we're seeing here is that we have an opportunity to experience each one of the 64 gates within ourselves that have very specific properties in terms of shadow and light and teaching opportunities. And we learn those throughout the course of the year. Now, everybody, based on their birth information, has a different human design body graph. And if you are new to the teachings of human design and you'd like to get to see what your birth chart looks like, you can visit my website, lovingenergyrecharge.com. Click on the tab for Inner Alchemy and follow the links to enroll in the complimentary Introduction to Human Design course. Now, regardless of your design, as this wheel is turning, we all have an opportunity to experience the gate activations. So for August the 16th to the 21st, we are going to be in gate number 29, which is going to be stimulated down in your sacral center. Now, for many people in their human design chart, if you are a generator or a manifesting generator, you have what is known as a defined sacral center, meaning it's colored in on your chart. This is the center of your life force energy. So think of that as your battery pack where it is sustaining the energy for you to do what you're really here to do. A lot of times we see our generators and manifesting generators using their energy and becoming slaves to doing things that they really don't want to do. So for this group of individuals, I highly encourage you to get in touch with your inner sounds of your yeses and your inner sounds of your nos. And what I mean by that is if you were not to speak, but you were allowed to let the sound vibration rise up from your being, a lot of times we see this in children where yeses come up as, I really like that, right? So they're leaning towards something, they're making some sort of vibrational sound that indicates a yes, an agreement, an excitement, and that is an indication that the energy is available for that. It is healthy for that individual. Your body also communicates to you the power of your nose. So nose in a lot of children might come as You might close your lips, you might shake your head, you might make those sounds again. Now, this is really important if you have that sacral center colored in, defined in your chart, because those sounds are natural to you. And if you are not familiar with them, you may want to start really trying to allow yourself to express from that form to bring those back online for you. It is one of the quickest ways to get to the truth of your energy through the wisdom of the body. But unfortunately, a lot of times as children, we're taught to use your words, and those natural sounds get pushed to the background. So watch out into the world, watch children who just naturally know how to connect with their sounds, remind yourself of the own sounds that you would make as well, and start playing with that to let it come forward. Now, if you happen to look at your birth chart and that center is white for you, you're either a projector, a manifester, or a reflector, which means that you are subject to rely on the energy quality of other people around you. So it is really important that you are with people that help you feel good. It's like going to gas up your vehicle, and the quality of that fuel really does matter. You're either going to feel very depleted if you're around lethargic individuals, uninspiring individuals. So you want to make sure that you are really attuning to sources of energy that are good for you and healthy for you. You're also going to experience those gate activations as the planet revolves and it turns. So you're going to want to see how you are affected by the conditioning field that is out there in a center that is white, because any center that is white on your human design body graph, think of that as you're receiving it in. Now you're receiving it in at 200%, and this is your opportunity to really experience what is going on at a collective level. But it is not your energy. This is the universe's energy, the environment's energy. So you want to notice through this gate activation, what is yours, what is somebody else's, and how have you been conditioned to respond to this energy? So this is where we get to have some fun with human design and getting to know your chart and then seeing what is happening in the cosmos through these gate activations, through the shadows and the light aspects that also the gene keys come into play with, to get to have a deeper understanding for yourself. So let's talk a little bit about the energy here for August the 16th through the 21st, through what is known as the gate of commitment. Gate number 29 on that human design chart. Now, looking at the planets, this is also where we're shifting from Leo season into Virgo. So now we're leaving a fire sign, we're coming into an earth element. So we're mixing together the elements of fire and earth. We're also moving from the 5th house of pleasure into the 6th house of health. So the focus is now being really stimulated on routines, developing your own skills, your training, looking at employment, perhaps going to the workforce, university students gearing up to go back to school, looking at your health, looking at that health care, your well-being, anything to really do with coming back into the body and taking really good care and doing the things that you need to do in order to sustain yourself through the changes that the end of August, beginning of September typically bring on. Now, we're also still in that ring of union. This is our 3rd week in the ring of union. And the ring of union through the teachings of the gene keys is really about relationships. So how to harness your relationships, how to develop deep, sustaining relationships. So in the last couple of videos, we talked about the gift of guidance, the gift of understanding. Now we're going to come into the gift of commitment. This is also part of the channel of discovery. So here you're here to discover that commitment level and discover things out in the world that really help you feel good. So looking at that gate of commitment, one of the easiest ways to recognize it is it comes through as an automatic yes. And if you have this gate circled in your chart, especially if you have a colored in sacral center, it is defined, you're probably going to notice that you have a tendency to say yes very, very quickly. Almost to the point where it comes out of your mouth and you might wonder, oh my goodness, why did I commit to that? So know that you are designed to quickly say yes to things, to quickly commit to things. And perhaps one of your lessons to learn in this lifetime is to really harness the self-control of not jumping in so fast, but to recognize the power of a yes when it comes from a divine self that just knows this needs to be done and we're going to do it, as opposed to the conditioning of, well, I better say yes or someone's going to get mad. I better say yes or things are going to fall apart. And then falling back on a resentment. So here's our opportunity to really examine the yeses of the sacral center, the sounds of the body, the knowing from within, of what is a correct way to spend your energy, to commit your time, your resources, your effort towards, what is going to lift you up, what is moving you in the direction of your greatest health and well-being, and what are you saying yes to that you know you probably should not be doing. So learning to claim back the power of your commitments, being more devoted to yourself, and really coming to catch those patterns of doing something that is so automatic but not healthy for you. So we're going to look at it in its conditioned state, meaning, sometimes we're programmed to do things and take on way too much because we watched our parents do it or a caregiver do it, or we just have this expectation upon ourselves that that's my responsibility. I'm the one that takes care of all of this. So it's your opportunity to really take a step back and question, are you feeling good about what it is that you're contributing towards? And if there's any sense of resentment or frustration or just feeling like you are depleted, you're being taken for granted, these are all signs that your body is saying you are giving away the power of your yeses, your energy, to areas that are depleting you and they're not good for you. So this is also where a human design chart reading can come in handy. Sometimes we have an undefined emotional center, so we're conditioned from a very early age because you feel other people's emotions so strongly to just cave in and do what the other person wants you to do so you don't have to feel it. Now we want to honor the true, authentic self and learn skills to empower you to take a stand for what you know is right and not compromise your health and well-being because of an overwhelming feeling that you get when feeling too deeply, caring too deeply, or being such an empath or a sensitive. So there's a lot of beautiful tools in really getting to know yourself on a deep, deep level to discover who you are, to then start removing the layers of who you know you are not. Now, in its natural state, the gate number 29, commitment, is going to give you the energy to complete a natural cycle. So this is where you say yes to something, you feel it in your body. It's not coming from an emotional state. It's not coming from any sort of pressure that you have to. It's a clear knowing. Yes, that feels right. Yes, that is the right direction for me. And when you have that level of deep commitment and you just know beyond know, and that doesn't mean you're not afraid. You're still going to have some fear in there because you don't know exactly what you're jumping into. But there's just something that says yes. And when you have the yes and your energy is responding to that, and you have faith in your power to make decisions that you know is for your highest good, because you're believing in yourself. You're working on yourself. You're working on your authenticity. You're claiming back your divine power. This is going to see you through to the completion of that cycle, that relationship, that project. This is a prime time to jump in to get those things done that you just know you need to finish and complete. It's also going to give you the energy to overcome any obstacles or any adversity that you're going to face. Because let's face it, part of growing and developing our human is learning that we can have solutions to problems. So there's always going to be little hiccups, little side steps, little things that come up to try to derail. But if it is right for you, if you're heading in the direction that you just know is for your highest good, you will find a way around it. And that means also calling in your spiritual team to show you, to guide you, and to provide the resources so that you can build your faith within yourself to overcome those obstacles and hardships that are guaranteed to be there to show you your own strength of character. Now, when we look at the inner alchemy for this gate, and this is where we really see the gene keys come in. So if you're looking at your human design chart, each one of those numbers is known as a gate. In gate 29, where we are right now for August the 16th to the 21st, the key that opens that door, the gene key, brings us the shadow of half-heartedness, the dilemma, which is known as the teachings, the lesson to be learned here of postponement, the gift of commitment, and the Sudi, which is the highest light aspect of devotion. So see this as your opportunity to do the inner alchemy work inside yourself, to move from a lower vibrational pattern of just doing things half-hearted. So just doing it because I have to do it. I don't really want to do it. I'm not excited about it, right? So you just give it a little bit. But every time you give something a little bit, those little bits add up to doing an awful lot of things and claiming an awful lot of your energy, so that you might be going to bed at the end of the night feeling exhausted but not satisfied by anything. A lot of us have had jobs where you go in and you just kind of give it your all day long. And you're kind of, your heart's half in it because you really don't want to be there. You got your eyes set on something that's more motivating, more stimulating, but it pays the bills. So you go in and you do what you need to do. Well, that's half-heartedness. You're expending a lot of energy, but you're getting back very little reward. So that could be in a job, that could be in a relationship, that could be in a family, that could be with your own health routine, your commitments to yourself. So really take a look at, how does the shadow of half-heartedness show up in your life? Look at the dilemma of postponing. So postponing doing the things that you really want to do because you have an idea in your mind or a fear story or an expectation on yourself that you have to wait for a certain time. So an example is saving for a rainy day, denying yourself something because you're going to wait till it's a better time. But yet the money's there and you have an opportunity to do it, but what if something happens? So that actually comes from a fear mentality of always having to protect yourself of the unknown. Well, we're not guaranteed tomorrow. So the only truth we have is this very present moment. The only thing you can prepare for is this present moment. The only thing you can put your energy towards is this present moment. So what are you postponing your wishes, your dreams, your ambitions, your things that really make you light up? What are you really postponing them for? And a lot of times, if we have those honest conversations with ourselves and we really sit with that, we'll usually find that, we're afraid to try. We're afraid to fail. We're afraid we're going to get laughed at. We're afraid of something. We're afraid of being successful. So when you really look at, why am I only doing things to a certain degree? Or why am I postponing myself and putting all that on the back burner? And you become really clear with that. Then you have an opportunity to move into the gift of commitment. Commitment could be really looking at your daily to-do list, the things that you do for yourself and for others, and really assessing, is this really where I want to commit my yeses to, my energy to, my devotion to? Are you applying your life force energy in a direction that is going to come back and fill up your cup? Now, we're also coming into a full moon in the sign of Aquarius on Monday, so during this time frame, and that is the cupbearer. That is an air element, so it's all about communication. So you also have to tie that energy into this time to really look at, how are you communicating to yourself? How are you filling up your own cup? Are you committing yourself to things and then breaking your commitment? And then going through the motions of feeling guilty or feeling shame or feeling disappointed. So really being mindful of what you are saying yes to, what you're committing to. Are you over committing yourself? Or even, are you under committing yourself? Are you too afraid to get out there and have any sort of commitments? So it's an opportunity to really do some deep soul searching as you're coming into your life force energy, your power, knowing that there's energy right now to really support you in manifesting your dreams, your goals, your desires. But first, it requires the clarity of what is it that you truly want? What is that dream that you have been cultivating, but you keep putting on the back burner? And how can you move the things that matter the most on that priority list? Health, well-being, finances, things that perhaps you've been procrastinating about and overlooking, whatever that ends up being for you when you do your own assessment. How can you move those to the front so that you can stay devoted to you? So one of the tools that I can give you as a coach is really to write down your to-do list. So the things that you are responsible for, so whether that is your job, your family, all the moving pieces that come together with this schedule heading into September, right? So you're also going to apply this as you go forward. And on a separate list, what is your commitments that you really want to make to your own health and well-being right now? And making sure that that gets on that priority list. Because you might have a big to-do list and be absolutely exhausted. But how much of your to-do list can be delegated to help somebody else grow and develop the skills that they need in order to be a healthy, independent individual? So if you're a mom watching this is really your opportunity to maybe help the kids with some training to be those independent future adults, not to do things too much for them because it's my responsibility to do it, but to really question some of those patterns. And for anybody, any area of frustration, what is it that you're committing it to? Do you want to stay committed to your frustration, or do you want to move to feeling the devotion, the satisfaction, the truth of what this energy is, and moving yourself in a direction that is for the greatest good? So there's a lot of energy during this time frame. We are going to be down in the sacral center for a couple of gate activations. So a really good opportunity again to get really clear on how your body says your yeses, says your no's, says your maybes, getting to know your human design chart so that you're aware of your inner authority, your way of following the energy patterns that work best with your energy type. And you can get a reading if you visit my website, lovingenergyrecharge.com, and looking at the Inner Alchemy tab. So I wish you all a fantastic week. Happy full moon in the sign of Aquarius for the Monday, and really spend some of that time devoting yourself to what you know is in your highest good and focusing on your health and well-being as we're moving into the 6th house of health in the sign of Virgo for Virgo season. Namaste to you all. Take care.